Is your stress getting in the way of your ability to feel joy or happiness? If so, in this video, I'm going to share with you what might be going on and some tools to help manage that stress response cycle. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit the bell notification and subscribe to get all of the notifications about when new videos come out. So my name is Sabrina Joy, and I'm a certified aromatherapist, meditation instructor, yoga teacher, and integrative nutritional coach. And my specialty is working with clients that need to manage their stress. In this video, I'm going to be talking about two different ways that sometimes we can feed into our stress response cycle, blow it out of what it would necessarily be, right? What would be intentional and necessary for our body to manage the stressor itself, and how we can begin to fix some of those problems. So we all know how frustrating it can be when stress gets in the way of us experiencing our life, right? One important way to think about stress is, first of all, to understand that you may be stuck in a repeating cycle of stress. So to use the ancient yogic model of samskaras is a great way to understand this. Samskaras are basically like hamster wheels, right? They're hamster wheels of the same emotion or sensation replaying itself over and over again because of what's going on in our unconscious mind and an inability to step in and stop the wheel. A great example of this might be, for example, if you notice yourself overloading your schedule over and over and over again. So say it's the first week of a new month and you say, I am going to not overload my schedule. I'm going to make time for rest. But by the next week, every single hour of your weekday is fully scheduled with something, and most of it is not resting. That would mean that you're stuck in a samskara. So you're stuck on that wheel, right? Even though you're trying to get off, you're stuck in the cycle. Another great example of this would be if you recognize that there's an individual in your life that kind of leeches the energy out of you when you spend time with them, but every time they ask to spend time with you, you still say yes. That's a samskara, right? You're stuck in the cycle of stress. Another thing that may be occurring to kind of suck the joy out of your life from stress is when we expand our own stress. So there is a stressor. There is a stress response cycle that is natural and must occur for most folks once something becomes an actual stressor. And what is a stressor can vary from person to person. And then there is the actual stress that we experience, which can actually be exacerbated by the way that we think about our stress. A great example of this might be if you have a really busy day coming up and you begin to be stressed about how stressed you're going to be on that day. So the stressor itself is an overloaded schedule, right? And the natural stress response cycle might mean that once you come to the day itself, you begin to get a little stressed by how much you have to do. But it is unnecessary to become stressed about how stressed you're going to be. It's like meta stress, stress inception. I hope you understand what I'm saying. If you don't, another example of this might be if you've ever had to wake up really early in the morning and the night prior, you're getting ready to go to bed and you go to bed later than you intended to. And then you can't fall asleep because you're so stressed about the lack of sleep that you're going to get, right? The stressor might be waking up in the morning, and you might need to have stress when you wake up in the morning after going to bed too late. But you don't need to blow the stress up and feed into the stress cycle by being stressed about your own stress. Both of these are great examples of how stress can turn into a feedback loop and begin to feed on itself and get a little bit out of control. So how do we step in and stop the hamster wheel? Well, we can use mindful, meditative approaches. So one great technique is to use a body scan meditation. Another great technique is to use naming. So that's when we recognize what's going on in our body and in our mind, and we use a word for that. So it could be, I'm feeling anger, or I'm feeling frustration, or I'm feeling stress. And recognizing it for what it is without judgment or without inflaming what you're actually feeling. It helps to create space between the feeler or the person or the individual or the soul or ego having the experience and the experience itself, so that we become less identified with, in this case, the stress itself. What has recently triggered your stress response cycle? I would love to hear about that. And are there any additional ways that you figured out how to stop your hamster wheel? Have you ever been aware of the fact that you're in a hamster wheel and trying to get out but it didn't work? I would love to hear about that in the comments below. Also, if you're like, what are these mindful meditation tools? I don't know what she's talking about. That's okay. I have a tool for you. I have 5 free downloadable guided meditations down in the description of this video that you can give me your email, and then each day for 5 days, I will send you a guided downloadable meditation. They are each a different type of meditation, one of which is a body scan meditation. They're great for new beginning meditators trying to kind of learn the ropes, or folks who have been meditating for a while that want to try new variations and new different types of meditating. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope that it got you thinking a little bit about how you might be stuck in a stress response loop or on the hamster wheel of stress, and how to begin getting off. Thanks for spending your valuable time with me. I know it is your most precious resource, and I'll see you in the next video.